Very good morning, fellows. Hope you are doing well. Today, let us discuss about the chapter Understanding Marginalization. Understanding marginalization, and of course, the continuation of this chapter is Confronting Marginalization. Understanding marginalization. In this chapter, we already discussed in detail what is the meaning of marginalization, marginalized communities in India, causes for the marginalization. So today let us have a quick revision of the chapter, this understanding marginalization. Uh, in this chapter, we already discussed about the meaning of the term marginalized. So when a community is excluded from the mainstream, such situation is called as marginalization. So the chapter starts with the storyboard of a tribal community, a tribal family watching Republic Day parade, and the grandchildren feel that the Adivasis are they are of stereotypical nature where they do exhaustic way and uncivilized way. So the discussion, of course, we studied in detail about this. Here, the old grandfather explains that we were all well settled in the forest areas in Orissa, but suddenly, because of the forest officials, uh, they could trace the resources or the mine ores in the land, and they asked us to leave the land, even though we protested, but the protest could not succeed. So this is a story where the story explains that the iron ore, the company wallahs said that iron ore under our land, and they wanted mine this iron ore. So they promised the jobs and money if we sold our land to them. And some villages they were excited, and others said that if we sell our land, it will destroy our life. But they could not do it. They could not protest. As a result, the old man was forced to leave his belongings and landed in Delhi. Somehow his son could get education and find a job and settle down in Delhi. So this chapter begins with the storyboard of how the economic development or the industrialization leads to marginalization of a certain community, especially here the case of Adivasis, reference of Adivasis. So Adivasis, they involve themselves. Of course, they were considered sons of forest because they are the original protectors of the forest and other natural life. So here we studied about the story of Helen and Solomon, and the story begins with the opening remark of how Adivasis we look or we assume that Adivasis are exhaustic, primitive, or they are not civilized. So you just read about how Dadu was forced to leave his village in Orissa. Dadu's story is similar. to the lives of millions of Adivasis in India. You will read more about the marginalization of this community in this particular chapter. So, in detail, of course, we discussed about marginalization of this community. Now, as we discussed in detail about the meaning of Adivasi, but once again, because of examination point of view, Adivasi, the term literally means original inhabitants. So Adivasis means the term they call as original inhabitants. Original inhabitants, the communities who lived and often continue to live in close association with the forest. So Adivasis are those people who are forced to live and they continue to live in the forest area, and they were forced to stay close to the forest area. Around 80% of India's population is Adivasi, and many of India's most important mining and industrial areas center located in Adivasi area. Please remember Jamshedpur, Rourkela, Bokaro, Bhilai. All these rich iron ore deposits basically belongs to Adivasi. We discussed about the states where Adivasis are found in numerous, in large number. State like Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, and northeastern states like Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, and Tripura. A state like Orissa is a home to more than 60 different tribal groups. So more than 60 different tribal groups, they all settled down in Orissa. So Adivasi, please remember, Adivasi means the term Adi means original. So Vasi means resident. So the original residents in a particular place, they are called as Adivasis. The Adivasis are organized under the caste hierarchy that is called Jati or Varna. Adivasis, they practice a range of tribal religion like Islam, Hinduism, and Christianity. So Adivasis, the few have their different religion background, and we of course discussed about Adivasis who worship various forms of spirit like mountain spirit, river spirit, animal spirits, etc. So mountain spirit, river spirit, animal spirit. Actually, what does it mean? We explained because we discussed that, like we worship river Kaveri, river Ganga, Godavari. So we attribute that's the reason why it is called mountain spirit, river spirit, and animal spirit. The village spirits are often worshipped to specific sacred groves within village boundary, while the ancestral ones usually worshipped at home. Additionally, Adivasis have always been influenced by different surrounding religions like Shakta, Buddhist, Vaishnava, Bhakti, and Christianity. So Adivasis, they definitely worship all these things. One, Shakta religion. Few Adivasis are Buddhist. Of course, they follow Vaishnava, Bhakti, and Christianity. So, please remember all these terminologies. And apart from that, few Adivasis, they believe in tantric traditions. tantric traditions in Bengal, Assam, where large number of Adivasis they believe in tantric traditions, and of course several Adivasis they are converted into Christianity. So, once again I repeat, marginalization means formation of means separating a particular community from mainstream. So Indian languages like Bengali, Santhali, so these languages are largest speakers and has a significant body of publications including magazines, internet or e-zines. So what topic you have to remember here? The meaning of term Adivasi. You should also remember the religious practices of Adivasis. Now let us move to the topic stereotyping. If you could remember the storyboard, Helen and Soma asked Dadu that why, oh Dadu, why we are always dancing? So what is called stereotype? Stereotype means we have a particular thinking about a particular community based on our understanding. Understanding may be from the mass media or any other readings. Adivasis are invariably portrayed in a very stereotypical ways, in colorful costumes, headgears, and through their dancing. Besides this, we seem to know very little about the realities of their life. We don't know about the realities of the life of Adivasis. We know very less. We always feel that they are exhaustic, uncivilized, barbaric. So stereotyping of a particular community, it is one of the major social issue. It's a problem because when you start stereotyping of a particular community, then we don't really understand what are the actual representations of the community. Now coming to the topic Adivasis and development. Now Adivasis they are really displaced because of the developmental work. For example, metal ores like iron, copper, gold, silver, coal, diamond, timber, medicinal herbs, animal products, etc. So all these they are from the mainstream society where it is not available, and Adivasis they really depend on all these products. And in the name of development, Adivasis are denied all these things. So there's a clear-cut uh, example here. Adivasis are involved in the traditional hunter-gatherers and shifting cultivation, which we discussed in history. Hunter-gatherers means those involved in hunting of animals, collection, that is gathering of forest products. So, few are involved in shifting agriculture. Shifting agriculture means that is also called zone cultivation, where you clear a particular land area and sow seeds, and generally they grow those crops which need no artificial irrigation, only depends on the rainfall. So here you can see a picture given about how the mining responsible for replacement or the displacement of Adivasis from their original place. So figures explains that more than 50% of Adivasis are displaced due to the mining projects, and the tribals were affected very badly because of the mining projects. Now, please remember this data that 79% of persons displaced from states of Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Orissa, Jharkhand, and most of those who displaced in the mentioned states, they're all majority. That means it is very, very clear. 79% of them are tribals. Please remember this data also. In India, we have 54 national parks, 372 wildlife sanctuaries. They cover the distance of 1,09,652 square kilometers. And basically, this 54 national park, 372 wildlife sanctuaries, they cover a huge distance of forest area, and most of them originally tribes, forest tribes. So losing their land's access to the forest means the tribal lose their main source of livelihood and food, having gradually lost access to their traditional homelands. Many Adivasis have migrated to the cities in search of work that they are employed for very low wages in local industries or building construction sites. So that's what you have to remember here, the meaning of displacement and malnourished. Malnourished is nothing but many tribal children were not getting sufficient food, protein requirement, nutrition requirement is very, very less. Then minorities and marginals. In this chapter, we studied about the minority communities. They are Adivasis, then scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, and the Muslims. So Muslims are marginalized community in India. We studied about the data which shows the Muslim community who don't have a proper houses, electricity, piped water, and their representation in the from the public sector companies and all. So why Muslims and scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are marginalized community? Because of the literacy rate, lack of literacy rate. And moreover, the Muslims, their customs and traditions and their practices are different from the mainstream. For example, wearing burqa, fez, living a long beard. All these ways they identify themselves as a different from other community, that is the rest of them. And this also leads for ghettoization. What is called ghettoization means people belongs to a particular community live in a same locality called ghettoization. Ghettoization leads to prejudice, and most of the time the prejudice leads to hatredness, and hatredness leads to violence. So in this chapter, please go through each and every topic in detail because there are a lot of new concept which you have to understand. So that is about this particular chapter, that is understanding marginalization. Parents, please go through the chapter in detail. Once or twice you read the chapters like new words and question and answers related to the chapter. So hope you may not face any problem related to this chapter. Right, well, thank you.